What's going on, everybody? KCam here, and in today's video I have a pretty awesome gameplay. I do end up dropping 100 kills, but I end up having like a super slow start. So you see I use a Vesper, when I try pulling out an MP40, realize I don't have blast press on that class, pull out a Razorback, realize I don't have blast press on that class, and I pull out a VMP ultimately after I notice, like, hey, this team's kind of trying pretty hard. Alright, let's kind of fight fire with fire and fight them back with like VMPs and stuns and whatnot. So that's kind of the gameplay here. But what I'm going to be talking about is change. So I haven't done a deep topic in quite some time. I know I did one in AW. I'm trying to think if I did another one. I know I did one about death. Oh, no, yeah. I did two. I did the loss of a friend, and then I also did one about death. So what I'm going to be talking about today is change. And it's something that I've kind of noticed about myself within the last year or two since basically Maniac retired. So I'm terrible with change, and anytime a change happens, all I want to do is just try and revert that change. So I have multiple examples of this. The first example that I have is Maniac. Like I pointed out, he retired, and then just basically that entire time all throughout AW I was just trying to get Maniac to come back. I never thought, maybe I should try out a new roster. I mean, originally that's what I did, and then I just realized, nah, man, I want Maniac back. It's just not the same. Because we tried out Royal, things didn't work out at all with him. We tried Grady, he quit, and then from that point on, we were just like, none of these rosters work as well as Maniac. And so I was just kind of like so stuck on trying to revert to old changes, or trying to revert changes, that I was kind of blinded. Like, I just saw things as, no, things have to be this way. It's just the way things have to be. When really, that's the way things were. And, like, I don't know. Like, I've always been terrible with change. And another case of that is within, like, last year, my dad moved out of my house. Or, actually, that kind of makes it sound different than it really is. But my dad moved out of the house that I grew up in as a child because he got a job offer up in Rochester. He got married to a woman who lives up there, and he moved away. He moved out of my childhood house that I wanted to keep and I wanted to move into when I was older, and I moved out, and then he would move out of the house, and I was going to use that as the SSK house, which you guys saw in a video that I made, possible SSK house tour, still on my channel, but I was kind of planning on that to be the SSK house. And the problem with that being the SSK house now is, how am I going to get the house? There's no guarantee it's going to be up for sale anytime soon. There's, like, it's just, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of hard because, yeah, I've wanted the house back for so long, but there's no possibility. I mean, it's very unlikely that it goes up for sale. And I'm not just going to walk up to someone's house and be like, give me your house. Like, no, that's just weird. But it was like, this entire time, ever since you moved out, I just been thinking, like, I want to live in this house again so bad. Like, I just always want to revert changes. Any dramatic change that happens in my life, I just want it reverted. And, like, I'm just terrible at change. There's no other way to explain it. I'm terrible at change. Tizzy quit, we stopped winning. I got so frustrated because I couldn't win anything. And even since Ghost, I got frustrated because up until the roster with Tizzy, I couldn't win anything. I wasn't playing like myself because I took 3 months off. And it even got to the point where someone considered himself that he was carrying me. And someone talking down to me and saying, yeah, you were getting carried. Like, that kind of lit the bulb in my brain that said, you're not KCam anymore. You're some guy that hasn't played for 3 months, and it's showing. You're some guy that basically could be considered an OBJ player right now. That's how bad you're playing. But then I mean, obviously that's kind of that's an obvious change that I'd make, that I wouldn't want myself to be considered like that. But just, like, kind of the thought of change terrifies me. The thought of anything changing, from Ghost to AW, having the movement change. I hated it. Black Ops 3, I still hate the movement. Closer to normal, but it's still not normal. I hate it. If they have the same movement in IW, I'm probably going to... I don't even know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be extremely disappointed and very, very kind of disappointed with IW and Activision and just a whole bunch of things. I know they have the thruster packs back, but if they have wall running back, it'll just frustrate me to the point of no end. But I'm trying to think of other things that have changed that I really want to reverted. But basically, like, just change in general. And I've lost, like, that's kind of like the first part that I wanted to talk about was just I'm bad with change, and change. I'm the kind of person that always wants it reverted. But another part that I wanted to talk about was just how crazy and how fast change happens. So I know I told the story back in Death of my first deep topics. Either it's my first or my second, I don't even know. But in one of my two deep topics, I talked about my dog dying, and he was like 13, 12. No, he was like 12 or 11 when he died. But he ended up dying of what they assumed to be cancer. And it wasn't easy for me. It wasn't easy having that person that basically my whole entire life I would come home to and he'd be there. And it just felt off. It felt depressing that there wasn't a dog there. There was one less dog to greet me at the door, and it felt like I lost a best friend, and it was not a good feeling. It did not make me. It certainly wasn't easy to get over at all, and it just kind of happened so suddenly. It was one day in August. I got a call from my mom. He showed no signs of any sickness or anything before it, but then I got a call from my mom, and I wasn't able to answer it. But then she left a voicemail, and I saw the voicemail later, and she was talking about. She was like. At first, like, she was kind of in a tone. She was like, I couldn't tell if she was laughing or crying or if it was just the phone making her voice sound weird. But then after she started talking, I was like, oh yeah, she's crying for sure. Because she was talking about he's not doing so well. She's taking him to the vet. And I was just like, what? Like, I was in a state of shock. And then last year, which was the year after, in 2015, I had another dog that I had for 7.5 years before he died. So about 8.5 now, because we're coming up close on the month that both of them died. The dog that I just talked about, the first one that I talked about, died August 13th, or not August 13th, but October 13th of 2014. And then the one that I'm talking about now that only lived 7.5 years, he died on October. Why do I keep saying August? But he died on October 27th. So with the dog that only lived 7.5 years, he was a small dog. So he was supposed to live like 17, 18 years. He was supposed to live a lot longer than he did. And it's kind of depressing that he didn't, because he was that kind of playful dog. He was the kind of dog that you couldn't not enjoy being with, and that you could not enjoy playing with, just because he was so playful, and he was so playful that it was crazy. So it was just this one was even more of a surprise, because with my older dog, after that he still managed to live all the way until he started getting sick again in like September time, and then we just decided it's time, he doesn't want to suffer through this anymore, and so we took him to the vet on October 13th. I keep saying August for some reason, but we finally just made the final decision, and it sucked, but I think he definitely appreciate that we did that for him, and he's in a better place now. And then the second dog that died last year, it was so sudden. It was just one day. He was still perfectly fine, but then all of a sudden we had another small dog, and they got into like a barking match where one of them was backed up into the corner. I wasn't upstairs to see it, but I just heard that one of them was like backed up into a corner, and it was like a full-out fight. And after that, he just started acting super weird, and like he wouldn't walk. He had like his tail between his legs, his head was bowed down, and he just wasn't acting like himself. So at first we thought maybe he broke his leg, maybe he's just scared. Who knows? Maybe he's having a panic attack of some sort. And then after that, we took him to the vet. They thought he flipped his stomach, and I was like, what? No way. And so then it didn't look like the most serious of things with the stomach flipped, because that could be fixed by surgery, but then you just have to worry about not flipping it again. Then we take him to the vet again. It's not that he has his stomach flipped. He has some kind of liquid that's filled up his stomach, and that's why he's became so fat. And supposedly it's been going on for some while, or some amount of time, and I guess maybe it just broke. Something just broke and I guess filled up his stomach even more, And after that, I just like remembered the day before he died. I came downstairs I came home from school, couldn't find him. Came downstairs, he was laying down on the floor. He didn't even have the strength to lift up his paw to try and come walk over to me, and it hurt. But it's like the point of what I'm talking about is just change happens so fast that it's insane. I went from being 11th on the ladder to basically a nobody that someone thought that he carried me, all within less than a year. So, and then I had a pet die within a matter of a weekend, and it's just so crazy how fast things change. That being good with change and like welcoming change and whatnot is got to be the most important thing. It's just one of the biggest things that you can do in life is being welcome to change or welcoming change. You know, being good with change. Because if you're not good with change and you're not good with sudden change, your life's gonna have a lot of stress in it, and that's basically how I am now. Obviously, I can't choose to, you know, be better with it, but I can sort of give myself a little like, I guess I can talk to myself, not really like talk to myself like in a crazy way, but like I can talk to myself in my head, you know, kind of try and give me reasons why I should be okay with it, and you know, just life moves on. So, anyways, I went a little bit over the gameplay, but there you have it: 115 kills, 28 deaths. I had a super slow start. You saw I was like 30 and 16. So after that, I went 85 and 12. So that's not terrible. And then 28 defense as well isn't bad. So, yeah. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please click the like button below. Subscribe for more Call of Duty content and also more deep topics, because what I want to do soon is try and make some commentaries like about each one of my teammates individually, like in the past with Nitro, Maniac, Tizzy, and now with Huntsman, etc., John, whatnot. So subscribe for more Call of Duty content, for more Call of Duty content, and comment if you have any suggestions, questions, concerns, anything. Leave us down in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great night or day, whatever time it is by you guys, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.